And these ones are the one we call inert or noble. For them, they have an outermost shell which is very full, and they are very stable. So now when we are to start putting in what we call periods, would have this one here, then this one here, because it is Henry has little brothers but can not.
I'm forgetting, but I remember there is a song, Henry has little brothers but can not organize for night studies, may all sleep peacefully since children are passing chemistry. So we stop from here, the one you studied in O level. So you'll find that
you'll find that these are the normal elements, and then we have these ones we call the transitional elements. So this would be period 1, period 2,
3, 4, 5, 6, and 7.
So the ones here are the ones we call the transition elements, and most of them are metals. So as we said, these are the group, and then these are the periods. So period 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Group 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That one is a sketch of a periodic table. It is not the whole periodic table. And as we say that these elements, because they belong to the same group or the same period, they have a tendency of being the same. They have things that are kind of common. It is like you find your mother's children are all either tall, or they all have big bums, or they all have beautiful eyes. So you find there is a kind characteristic that all of you have in common, just because you belong or you come from the same place. So that takes us to the variation of physical properties in the periodic table. The variation of physical properties in the periodic table. The variation of the physical properties in the periodic table. Because when we say that physical, that means that it is something that is there for a shorter time, and after some time it would go back to its original shape. Then when we say property, it is what you possess of. So we are going to look at those changes that can be there for a shorter time that periodic table possesses, that the different groups, the different periods do possess. And the first one, these ones in short, we would call them the periodic properties. The periodic properties. What the periodic table owns. The periodic properties. And the first one, we have what we call atomic radius. We have ionization energy. We have electron affinity, atomic radius. We have ionization energy. We have what we call the electron affinity. Electron affinity. We have what we call the electron negativity. The electron negativity. We also have what we call the electron positivity. The electron positivity. Then we have what we call the melting and boiling points. The melting and boiling what? And boiling points. So these are the various properties of the periodic table. So we are going to look at how does atomic radius vary across the period and down the group. We will see how does ionization energy. We will see what is ionization energy. How does the ionization energy vary across the period and down the group. We will see how does the electropositivity, how does the electronegativity, how does the boiling and melting points, how do they vary as we move from the element that is at the top in the group to the element that is last in the group. And what about the element that is first in the period and the element that is last in the period? Because as we have said, people from different families behave differently and they are affected differently. So the same applies to the periodic table. These periods and the groups are affected by different properties in different ways. So we are going to start with the atomic radius. We are going to start with the atomic radius as the first physical property of the periodic table. We shall look at all of these ones in two details. We shall look at these ones all in two details. So we are starting with what we call the atomic radius. With what we call the atomic radius.